Welcome to I Have Today. I'm Diane Forster, your host. This is our live series that we come to you with every single week, and the purpose of this show is to inspire, educate, and empower our audience and help you no matter where you are in your life through transitions and reinvention. In case you don't know who I am an intentional living expert and a reinvention specialist. I'm a best-selling author, I'm an award-winning inventor, I'm a keynote speaker, and I coach and consult clients, and I help both men and women through transitions from wherever they are in their life, whether it's business, whether it's health, whether it's relationships, whether it's career switches. I help them to transition into living a fully intentional life where they're feeling happiness, joy, fulfillment in every area of their life, every day of their life. And I am so excited for today's show because I have a fantastic guest that's going to be joining us very, very soon. My friend, Mac Williamson. I'll tell you all about him in a few minutes. Now, let me tell you what to expect in the show today. What we're going to do is I'll give you a teeny little bit background about me, and then we'll talk about what the intention of the show is for the day and the theme that we want to uncover and lift the veil off of. I will introduce Mac and tell you about his fantastic background, very, very eclectic, very, very fun. And the topic that we're going to talk about today is really how do you get out of your own way? Now, let me tell you something. When this topic came up, this was one of the things he answered on his questionnaire. And the first thing I did is I went on a little known search engine called Google and I looked up get out of your own way. There were over 1 billion searches for get out of your own way. Do you think this is a topic worth talking about today? Yeah, it is. Apparently, this is epidemic, right? Everybody gets in their own way. So we're going to talk about how we're getting in our own way, what's happening, what's going on, what are the emotions behind it, where is it living within you that's stopping you from moving forward and making progress in your life, and how to turn that around for you and make it so that it's working for you. So a little bit about me, my journey. How I got to be doing what I'm doing in intentional living and reinvention was a part of my own journey. And while I had a successful career in advertising and television sales and created a kitchen product, which we can talk about another time, which was an amazing, wonderful journey and got me on QVC and won innovation awards and took me down the road to entrepreneurship. It was my personal journey that got me doing the work that I am today. And that was living a lie and living a secret that I didn't tell anybody else about. I was married and in a relationship for 20 years that was very unhappy and unhealthy. And to the outside world, it looked like I had everything going on, but deep down inside, it was painful and unfulfilling and very, very abusive in emotional ways. And what happened was, it was a night in June of 2011 that I attempted suicide. And through an act of God, my life was spared that night, but it was the wake-up call that I needed to shout out, I need help, and expose what was going on with me to the rest of the world and really reach out to get the help that I needed. And through getting help and self-help, I started healing in a really profound way and discovered that I was responsible for the condition of my life. I was the reason why my life looked the way it did and I felt the way I did. And underneath it all was lack of self-worth. And I didn't love myself enough. I didn't nurture myself enough. I didn't feel empowered. I just didn't feel worthy of the things that I wanted. So I stopped wanting them. So through that journey, I healed in a really, really profound way. And part of that journey was practices like meditation and journaling and things like that, and writing a poem called I Have Today. And that poem was another pivotal moment in my life that turned everything around for me and launched I Have Today, which is about intentional living and empowerment and reinventing my life to live life on my terms in this present moment, feeling joy and love and fulfillment in every area and really truly squeezing the juice out of each day. And I know that there are many people out there that are feeling the way I felt, which is why we created this platform. And I wanted to have guests on this that come from a variety of backgrounds, different coaches, authors, experts, influencers, leaders in different categories that cover the gamut. And it's not just about women, it's about men too, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to have Mac on, because he's such an extraordinary guy, and share his story with you. But everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has to get over their own journey. And this is just the story of mine and what got me here. And so the purpose of this is to bring you tools and resources and tips and advice and insight into ways that you could be living more intentionally. All right. So what I first want to say is I want to give you my 3 tips right away before even Matt gets on, and we could talk about them in depth with him because I know he has his own list of things that turned it around for him. But I wanted to share my 3 tips with you first about what I think you need to do to get out of your own way. Here's number 1. Get a coach. Not just because I am a coach. I'm telling you, it was getting coaches that helped me. And here's the reason why. You want someone around you who's supportive, who has your back and can help you and see what you cannot see for yourself. For me, I got a therapist and then I got coaches because I could not read the label from inside the bottle. I couldn't see where I needed the help and support. That's one of the ways that we get in our own way, is because we struggle and we try to do it ourselves. When there are coaching industry is an $18 billion industry. There are a plethora of fantastic coaches out there. So find yourself a coach. Find yourself some support. That's way number 1. Second tip I want to give you is to listen to, read, or watch something motivational and inspirational every single day. And here's why. All of this lives in the mind. It is our mindset that is creating the way we're feeling, which is creating the way we're communicating, which is creating what's showing up in our lives. And the mindset is like a muscle. If you don't work it, it is going to wreak havoc on your life. It is. There is so much old programming set in your subconscious mind that is just going to continue to play that loop over and over and over again. So you need to empower yourself every day and give yourself the tools for a positive mindset by listening to things, reading things, and watching things that are uplifting, motivating, and inspiring, and they make you feel good. We're going to talk about this a little bit with Mac, I know, about the effect of the brain with that. Okay. The third tip is to stay focused about what it is you want by letting go of the things that are no longer serving you. Okay. So, the reason I'm sharing that with you is because we take on too much. And when we take on too much, we lose focus. We get out of control. We want things immediately. We want instant gratification. And there's plenty of time to do plenty of things. So we need to let go of the things that aren't serving us in that moment. And this is so relevant for me right now because I just had something happen with me this past week where I had to let something go. And it was the universe stepping in, throwing me some things that knocked me on my butt that made me go, whoa, what's really important to me? Why am I doing all this? And I'll tell you right now what it was. It was, I'm planning this big live event later this year, and I decided I had to let it go. Now's not the right time. It's something that I've been wanting to do for years. Why can't I do it next year? Why can't it wait? And the moment I let it go, my life instantly got better. So it's keeping that third thing in mind, that don't get in your own way trying to do too many things. Stay focused on what you really want, what's really important to you, and let go of the other stuff. There will be plenty of time to do it later on. So those are my 3 steps for you this week. And now I want to bring on my friend, and marketing guru, man about town, just a fantastic friend, fantastic man, my friend, Mac Williamson. Mac, come on in the studio.
Nice.
How are you? Good to see you.
Great to see you. Hi, everybody.
This is Mac. Say hey, Mac. He's going to mic up really quick. Let's get him all mic'd up.
Let's get me going.
There he is.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Hey, testing 1, 2, 3. All right. So I'm going to let you explain you, but I just want to explain. I want to tell you what Mac wrote about himself for the show. Okay. He is a dog lover. Don't you love that? An animal advocate, NFP founder, not for profit, in case you need to know that. Former pro multi-sport athlete. Can't wait to talk about that. Market research nerd. I've seen this firsthand. He is not a nerd. He is a guru. Marketing guy, graphic designer, brilliantly talented. He's a fitness teacher. He's a pilot, an outdoorsman, plus other stuff and things.
It's other stuff and things.
Other stuff and things. So I'm so happy to have you here.
I appreciate you inviting me.
Oh, it's an honor.
I'm such a fan. I really am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So this show is really very conversational, and I want your brilliance and your insight. I want to hear your stories. I know our audience wants to hear your stories. What's so great is you're a man, so we're going to do this from a male perspective, where predominantly our audience is women, right. But more and more followers are becoming men. So, you do a lot of different things, and you're very well accomplished. We're the same age, so I'm so impressed by you at all you do. I'm blown away by the attitude that you always have and exude to every single person that you come across. And as a member of the Solana Beach Chamber of Commerce, I see what Mac does every single month. I attend all the lunches and the events and things like that. And he is a master connector, but comes from heart-centered space and helps everybody in such a beautiful way. So I want to know from you, you were the one that brought up get out of your own way, which I thought, oh my God, I love this topic. So let's do it. Let's go there. Okay. So tell me a little bit about your story, your background story.
Geez, we're 53 years on this planet. A lot of stories. Grew up in a big family, all boys. Okay. And so it was interesting. Didn't meet my parents until I was probably 12 years old. I was being raised by a pack of wolves and discovered that, no, I'm just kidding. My parents were great, had a wonderful childhood, but a lot of competition, and, grew up, we had a great time, but I struggled with a lot of anxiety issues. It kind of ran in the family, and a couple of my brothers were struggling with it, and this is the 70s. Nobody knew what any of that stuff was. So that was fairly challenging. And
how old were you when you realized this?
Third grade.
Third grade.
I used to wake up and
8 years old.
Yeah. I would sit on the edge of my bed and literally shake. Getting ready to go to school. I thought everybody did. I thought it was normal. Yes. I didn't know. Yeah. And by halfway through the morning, I'd kind of get in my groove and it would go away, and and then it just kind of started to manifest itself, and it got worse as I got older, and it was challenging, and I don't want to start off, kind of an poor me thing. It was what it actually was a gift. Of
course,
it was a gift, because I don't look back and say, this was something that defined me and was this horrible thing. It was just what it was. Right. I remember kids. I played a lot of sports when I was a kid. A lot of kids had asthma. I grew up in LA, and you couldn't, the air was brown, and a lot of the kids would sit out of the sports because they had asthma. Right. So I was looking at the same way. I have asthma, I have anxiety.
Yes.
But anyway, so
yeah. What did you do? What did you start to, when you first started to notice it, that you had control and you could do something about it, or you wanted to do something about it? What was that?
That is a great question, because I didn't know. I was just a little kid.
Right.
So I just lived with it.
Okay.
And what was really interesting is as I got older and started getting into high school, it didn't cause social anxiety. What it did is it caused the opposite. I was the class clown.
Okay.
And I was everybody's friend. It was like that Tears of a Clown thing. I was just...
You went the other way.
Yes, I was masking this thing that was going on inside of me, you know, by being outrageous. And not in an obnoxious way, but just being, you know, trying to overdo everything. And I think what was the biggie for me was getting my driver's license. Because, you know, for people that are struggling with anxiety and panic attacks and that kind of stuff, doing things where you have to control something in an out of control, possibly out of control state is very scary.
Yes.
And I remember thinking to myself, and I literally said this in my head, I said, how am I going to go to college if I can't get in the car?
Yeah.
And it was this aha moment. And I remember I talked to my, I have a lot of brothers. I have 5 brothers. And I was talking to my older brother, Jeff, and I sat down with him, and he's quite a bit older than me. He was probably in college at the time. And I sat down with him and I said, I don't know what to do. I've just got these feelings. He goes, I get that. He said, you know what I did? You know what works? Run. Run until you can't run anymore. And when you're so tired, you won't care anymore.
You know what?
And I went, okay. And so I ran.
Yeah.
And
and did it happen?
It did. I felt great.
So you were firing up the endorphins and your body actually was getting regulated. A lot of that stuff was going on. I'm not a scientist or anything like that. I'm just saying, but this is what was happening for you. And so you had all those feel good emotions going on.
Right.
That's awesome.
It isn't. It isn't awesome. It's that was actually.
Okay.
It was actually not. Oh no, this dovetails into the story.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So
please continue.
In a nutshell, and I'll keep this short because we can. You know, you're one of my very best friends, and we can go crazy with this stuff. But I probably was 10th grade, and you know, I grew up as a surfer. I used to like to go surfing, and I was always an athlete, but you know, soccer, football, that kind of stuff. But I wasn't a distance guy, and so when I went running, I mean, it really sidelined me. I could run 2-3 blocks, and I was gassed, and so I would have to run further and further. It's almost like an addiction. Yes. Okay, I had to run further, and so a mile did it for me for the first, and then 2 miles, then 3 miles, then 4 miles, and the next thing you know.
It's totally addictive.
Next thing you know, the tail's wagging the dog, and I'm doing ultra marathons when I'm in high school. Now, ultra marathons, anything over the distance of a marathon. I grew up in Arcadia, and so we had these beautiful mountains, the San Gabriel Mountains. I would run from my house in Arcadia up Santa Anita Canyon, and I would choose one of 10 trails that I could take, and I would run all day.
Wow.
All day. Drink out of the streams like Yukon Jack. You know, and I would go all day. And sometimes I would run in a training run 40, 50 miles in a day. And then I wound up, I was probably barely out of high school. I ran 100 miles.
Wow.
At a 100-mile race.
Wow.
Because I just had to keep doing this.
Yes.
But I was miserable inside.
Yes.
I wasn't enjoying the beauty.
The experience of it.
I wasn't enjoying it. I was trying to, I look at it, it's like having a big beach ball and trying to put it underwater, and it just keeps wanting to pop up.
Yes. It's like that heroin addiction. You know, the first time they're always seeking that high again, seeking that high again. And that's, you know, you're chasing it, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So more and more.
Yes. And this is fascinating. And this probably explains a lot for a lot of boys, I have to tell you, because you're not the first man to tell me this. In fact, recently I've heard this about waking up in that state, you know, and feeling that panic like right away. So where people, you know, feel it at night and then they have trouble sleeping, you know, I don't know about you. Do you have trouble going to sleep at night?
No.
So you
not anymore.
But you would wake up with this feeling like that.
It was caused by dreams.
Wow.
And I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist or dream specialist, but it was always caused by dreams. I had very unsettling dreams. They would trigger that anxiety as a child.
Okay.
And I don't know what it was, because my childhood was great. My parents were loving. My brothers were awesome. We had fun. It was very, you know, my dad was an adventure guy. We were always doing something. It was idyllic. I have no reason to have this except for a biologic reason.
Right.
But anyway, what happened is I became such a great athlete because I was trying to keep this demon at bay.
Yes.
And it just went one thing to another. Running wasn't enough, so I picked up cycling. And the next thing you know, I went from, you know, just a beginning cyclist to a category 2. They go to categories. I was, you know, just shy of being a pro within a year. It was insane. how fast that everything worked athletically.
Right.
And it worked for about 10 years. And then my dad died. And when my dad died, that anxiety triggered again really, really bad, to the point where I couldn't run it off.
Wow.
And I was surfing with a friend of mine who I didn't realize was a psychiatrist. And we'd surf for years together, and we were chatting, and I was telling him, that my dad, I was talking about something, and he said to me, he goes, "Stop by my office, we'll talk about it." And I said, "Okay." I thought he was an architect or something. Right. Anyway, he's a local psychiatrist, and he incorporates a lot of Eastern modalities into his practice. He introduced me to something called Vipassana meditation technique.
Oh yeah, I know Vipassana.
Thank you. Yes, changed my life, saved me.
Explain to the audience what Vipassana meditation is.
It's a meditation technique it's an active meditation technique, and it's based on in just a nutshell, it's based on non-attachment to things. And this doctor is a wonderful, wonderful man, and still a really great friend. He said to me, because I said to him, just like you were touching on in the beginning, you said all about instant gratification, because you fall apart like a house of cards falling down. Right. And I was feeling horrible. I literally wasn't seeing in color. I was seeing in muted shades of gray. I was so bummed out by this, and couldn't sleep, felt horrible. And I said to him, I just want to feel normal. And he literally leaned forward, put his hands on my shoulders, and he goes, "You may never feel the same again, and you need to be okay with that. You ready to get started?" And that was like, I was scared to death, because I didn't want to feel like this. But then I thought to myself, just like these kids that have asthma, or, God forbid, our soldiers who come back with one leg or whatever, I still have the ability to love. I still have my, cognitive, everything that I have is still there. Right. Let's just make the best of it. Right. And it took a long time. I practiced for years. Yeah. And it just literally was like chiseling that beautiful sculpture. Yeah. Took a long time to take shape, took a long time to get polished, and now it worked. And it's been a godsend. It's been probably 20 years since then, and I feel like $1 million. Oh,
that's a great story.
And didn't do the drug route or anything.
That is just what I was just going to say. That is the biggest takeaway from all of this. No medication, no drugs. He meditated. Right. Because it's here. It's in our minds, right? It was a physical thing too, but you were able to keep it at bay and correct it through that process.
Yes.
Truly.
It does. There's scientific studies, lots of them, that it changes your brain chemistry.
Yes, it does.
By all means,
changed mine,
yes, for
sure.
And I definitely think that we need to throw this caveat out there. Okay. For people that are really, really suffering from mental illness, and, everybody has struggles, but some are deeper than others. There are people that definitely may need, medication and that kind of thing. Of course. I'm not saying don't do that, but for me, it was really, I'll tell you, the biggest challenge was not getting those instant gratification results. I'm an A-type personality. I was competitive. I wanted to be the world's best. Right. And it's just very difficult to not get it, because when you want something, you can't just get it. And so having that journey was the whole anxiety thing, worst thing that ever happened, best thing that ever happened, which is really cool.
Yeah. That's such a great story. And it's so true, because you if you had not experienced that, your current state and where you are now, you wouldn't have the level of gratitude and appreciation for where you are
100%. It is
without it. Totally.
It has completely changed how I view life and view people. And, it's tough. I struggle. I grew up with a bunch of boys. Yeah. Sarcasm is one of the many benefits I offer for free. And I struggle with it because, a good friend of mine said to me one time, he goes, what did he say to me? He said, "Would you want to talk to you at a party?" And I went, at the time, I'm like, probably not. Yeah, I was a little edgy. Yeah, so I think that's a good one. So
yeah. Okay. All right. So others out there are feeling this different ways, maybe not in the anxiety way that you felt it, and taking the path. But so I gave my 3 tips for what I think you need to do if you're getting in your own way. What would you say to our audience for advice? Obviously, you said meditation would be one of the things to do. How else do you self-soothe, calm yourself down, keep it at bay where it is?
Okay. I love that you said
Self-soothe. I know.
It's the first day with my new tongue. Hang on, I'm just getting used to it. Self-soothing, I call it self-pacifying.
Yeah.
Because,
self-pacifying.
Yeah, because we are just, with all technology the way it is today, we've got monkey brain. We're just always playing, doing, and instead of just enjoying the moment. So when we talk about meditation, those of you who are listening to this right now, meditation, you think meditation, and people that are really high functioning are busy. They always say the same thing. I'm no good at it.
Right.
Okay. Everybody's good at it.
Right.
We meditate every day.
Yes.
Every day you do. You'll be driving. Sometimes you miss your exit. You're in a form of meditation when you're in an slight alpha state, and you're, completely safe, but it just happens. You meditate every time when you listen to a song, you reminisce, take a few deep breaths. You can do a 6-second meditation. You can inhale for 3, hold, and exhale for 3. You're meditating. And it's just, we're so used to having that mentality of how to do things. If I do this, this will happen. And I'm not good at yoga. I'm not good at meditating. Everybody's good at it. Yep. Everybody's perfect at it.
Right.
So
yoga is a great example.
Yoga is a great example. I'm no good at yoga. Well, listen, there is nobody that's tighter than me. I practiced yoga for years.
Yes.
I have the tightest hips there is. I can barely, but I get the same sensation just barely doing a pose than somebody else is doing a huge pose and into it. Right. And so you just have to stop being so hard on yourself and just enjoy that. So getting back to the meditation thing is there are so many different forms of meditation, all different kinds. And they can be done with couples and individually, and walking meditation is wonderful.
Yes, it is.
And the beautiful thing is we have the internet. Okay, go to YouTube. Look at the different forms of meditation. It's wonderful.
Yes.
Take 5 minutes for yourself every day, and it's great. So,
So one of the things that I do with my clients is I create personalized mantra meditations for them, because a lot of them have this challenge. They get in their way. They can't focus. They have their stuff. We all have stuff. And so I developed this process because they couldn't get out of their own way. And I could see what they couldn't see for themselves, but I would tell them what they needed to hear, but they couldn't hear it. They weren't able to receive it. So I started creating these personalized meditation mantras for them, and they're having these miraculous effects. So if we have time today, I'd love to read one to the audience, because it's really, really powerful, and it's a shift in mindset. And I'm going to do it towards the end. So stick around for it, because we will meditate just for that minute, those couple minutes, and you'll get to feel what a guided meditation feels like versus what we're talking about. Yeah. Would that be cool?
Absolutely. I think guided meditations are brilliant. They really are. They take you down the road. Yeah. And I wanted to circle back real quick on the self-pacifying thing.
Yeah, okay.
Because we have these huge brains, 86 billion neurons in our head.
Yes.
Average. It's insane.
Yeah.
More than in our
the rest of our body?
No. In our hell,
atmosphere?
I'm in a complete stupid attack right now. In our
rewind.
Yes, exactly. In our galaxy here. Okay.
In galaxy.
86 billion neurons.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a lot going on. So we're constantly trying to figure out ways to calm ourselves down, and it shows up in a million different ways. You watch people, and instead of just taking a second and turning off the chatter, okay, and it's okay to, if you've got a dirty cup in the sink, you don't have to wash it before you leave. I'm not saying be a pig by any means, but you don't have to. It's not going to be the end of the world if this happens. Okay, so be kind to yourself.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And at the end of the day, and my thing is,
I think what you're saying is you're talking about perfectionism a little bit now too.
Just let it go.
Yeah.
I always try my best to do this, and I really, I always think that everybody gets out of bed in the morning, and they don't look at themselves in the mirror and say, "How can I show up poorly today?"
Right.
Everybody's doing their best.
Right.
Now, your best might be way better or different than somebody else's, or somebody
different. I say different.
Yeah. And people, everything's so sensationalized that we are looking at other people and saying, "Well, I don't do that, so I'm not as good."
Right.
I don't feel, but you know what? You are good. You're perfect.
You are where you are, and that's okay. And it's not a race. It's not a competition, and your focus and goal should be what's next for you, not comparing yourself to anybody else, so focus on that and I know we've talked about this before, and I certainly talk about it here on my blog and on the other webinars in my book that, oh God, man, I just lost my train of thought too.
See, it's going around.
It is. I know, it's like contagious.
We're going to hide our own Easter eggs this year, aren't we?
No, I literally just lost my thought. Crap, I hate when that happens. We have each day, here it is. I have today. I have today to start fresh and new. It's early in the poem. I have today to start fresh and new, because we do. Every single day is a do-over. You get to sleep at night and you get to wake up that next day, and it's a clean slate. You do not have to carry the baggage, the bad feelings, anything from the day before, the year before, decade before, none of that stuff. You get today to show up and be your best in this moment. And maybe the question should be, how can I let go of all of this and really watch and listen for my guidance, and follow that kind of lead into the day to help you stay out of your own way,
right?
Yeah.
I love that your past. I can't stress this enough. My gosh, it took me until I was 45 years old to realize your past does not define you.
Yes.
It seriously does not define you. If my takeaway today for everyone that's listening is just understand that the past is the past. And at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Every minute, time is always moving forward. There's always time to reinvent yourself, to tweak, to learn, and stop. Don't live in the past and beat yourself up over stuff that you did wrong or right or whatever it is, because you learn from your mistakes, not your success. Nobody ever learns from being successful.
That's right. I totally agree that I don't even call them mistakes. I say they're lessons along the way.
Totally.
Lessons along the way. It's just you figured out how to not do something, or you figured out what you didn't like, or, you figured out how you don't want to be treated or what you don't want to do. There's always a gift in that. So I agree with that too.
Yeah. And on the coaching front, like you were saying, it's really great. And so coach takes it wears a lot of hats.
It does.
Your best friend could be your coach.
Yep.
Okay. You can have a professional coach. It just depends what it looks like. But they have a way of looking at something objectively and subjectively, depends on what the relationship's like, to be able to show you things that you don't so much see. Like when I was sitting in the lineup and my friend looked at me and said, "Would you want to hang out with you at a party?"
Right.
And I was like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been 20 years. I still remember that. And every time I'm in a social situation, I always say
remember that.
Would
I want to hang out with me?
Yeah.
Would I want to have a conversation with me?
Yeah, like our friend Bob Baker says, it's nice to be nice. Be nice. Okay.
Yeah, that is good. That's a keeper.
Yeah, for sure.
Write that down. Would I want to hang out at a party with me?
Right. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. All right. So what are the words of wisdom, now that I got you here, that would you like to share in this genre of the work that we do with intentional living and living in the present moment, and I don't know, even a funny story or something that's enlightening about you and your philosophy on life? Because you're really an awesome guy and very not complex, diverse. You're just multi-talented and faceted, and I think that's really cool.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. I learned that from my dad. My dad was the ultimate Renaissance man. He's, he could be in the back country. We could be out hiking all day and just come back just torn up. And he could go into the bathroom and 15 minutes later come out ready to go. He's got a suit on and he's just, he was the world's most interesting man. And he was a commander in World War II. He was awesome. He would just come out, and my mom looked like Marilyn Monroe, and they would just go out, and they were just such wonderful people, just love and really cool. So I really like, at least for me, to be able to be not so much good, but to be adept at a lot of different things, regardless of what it is. Okay. And, not everybody is that way. And I'm not saying one way is better than the other. That's just kind of what I do. And I wanted to circle back to the running thing. When I was out, doing my thing, there were times when I would go out for 5-6 hours and I wouldn't see anything. I would get back and I'd be like, well, that was a really long, interesting run, but I don't really remember much of it.
Right.
And so once
you weren't observing the landscape
absolutely
or anything?
not.
Okay.
No, I was in my head and not in a good way.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so after learning for the dog to wag the tail instead of the other way around, now when I go out, it doesn't matter what happens. I could be out for 10 minutes or for 10 hours. It doesn't matter. I don't have anything to prove.
Right.
And it's so much more enjoyable
yeah.
when you are in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be in the moment anywhere.
Yes.
Okay. And it's funny because everybody's, oh, you hardworking A-type personalities, you need to take a break from your office. You don't need to, listen, you could be working and enjoy the moment.
Yes, yes.
Enjoy the feeling of your fingers on the keyboard.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. I love being in the zone, writing.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Feel what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like, not like, oh, this is drudgery of what I'm doing. You're contributing. If you're working, I don't care what you're doing. Right. If you're working at Starbucks, you're making people happy.
Yeah.
Nobody goes into Starbucks in a bad mood. The baristas out there, oh my God, they're heroes. I love them. Whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're working, is what you call, a cog in the machine with 100 cubicles, you're contributing. Yes. Feel good about that.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And stop comparing yourself to other people and this is really, really cliche that money does not buy happiness. Okay. I'm telling you. Okay. Right. Some of the most miserable, and I'm using miserable lightly, there are unhappy people who literally say, I'm not judging that they're unhappy. Right. They say, I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy. Yeah, they have everything and they're traveling the world doing that pacification.
Yes.
I need to get out and go to this country or that country. And they're there and they're unhappy.
Right.
Instead of being able to enjoy it. So,
well, it comes from within. It really does come from within.
Right. So. And I think what our challenge is, at least for me, is how do you teach people that? It's really hard because it's a feeling.
You get on shows like this, you talk about your experiences and your stories, what's worked for you. You don't know what word or words you're going to say that's going to have a powerful impact on somebody's life. So it's just putting yourself out there, telling your story. That really, and living it, and living it for yourself. Because at the end of the day, the only opinion that really matters is yours anyway.
Absolutely.
So to live in, a true, authentic expression of you, that's how you do it. And I love that you meditate. I'm such a fan of meditation. Deepak Chopra says if we could get our young kindergartners, our young generation all meditating, we could have world peace in one generation.
I couldn't agree more.
It is not talked about enough as far as I'm concerned. I think it's just has such a powerful, profound impact on people. So on that note, I'm going to read the meditation. So if you're out there and you are watching and you're in a place where you are safe, where you can close your eyes, I would really like you to do this because I want you to hear these powerful words. If you are driving, just kind of do what Mac said, which is kind of get in that meditative state. Like sometimes you miss your exit, like you don't even know how you got there. Pay attention to the road. Pay attention to the road.
Don't close your eyes.
But take in the words, okay? So this is one of the tracks that's coming out on a CD that I'm creating called Love of Self Meditations. And this one is called Powerful Self-Worth. Okay, take a deep breath. Close your eyes. And here we go. I have today to love my life. Something extraordinary is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. Miracles, big and small, I notice them all. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. I am beautiful. I am powerful. I am confident. I am fearless. I am extraordinary energy. And I am a powerful influence to those around me. I open up my energy field and I see miracles and opportunities all around me. I know that I am never alone and I am being divinely guided in my life. I know that I am not a victim of my past and that everything that's ever happened to me in my entire life has been for my highest, greatest good, even if I didn't know it at the time. I am no longer affected by those from my past who have tried to hurt me. I forgive them. I know that they were only doing the best they can from that moment. It is not the person, it is the behavior, and it needs to be forgiven. I can take whatever has happened to me in my past and move on from that and let it go and release my attachment to the pain and the suffering. That was the person I used to be. That is not the person I am now. The person that I am today gets to start every single day fresh and new. I get to look forward to this day and my future with excitement and enthusiasm. I get to decide. I get to choose. I am the one who's in control. I am the one who has the power. No one, and I mean no one, has any power over me. I look at myself and I only see my beauty and my brilliance, my radiance, my confidence, my skills, my abilities, my power, my openness, my capacity to learn and grow and expand every single day. No 2 days of my life are the same, and I love that. I embrace the uncertainty. I look forward to it, and I forgive myself for anything that makes me feel less than the extraordinary being that I am. I am so powerful. I am so worthy. I am here for a reason. God put me on this planet to do great things, and I will do those great things each and every day. I will look back on my life a year from now and look back at all I've accomplished, all that I've done, all the lives that I've affected. Every single thing that I do has a powerful, positive ripple effect on the universe. That's how powerful I am. The fact that I know this allows me to perform that much greater. And I know that one person in alignment with knowledge of this is more powerful than millions who are not. And I am one of the chosen ones. I feel loved and supported by all the people in my life, all my family members, all my friends, all my business connections, and people I don't even know who have my back. I can feel their love as well. I am not alone. I am fearless. I am confident. I am radiant. I am the light, and I am love, loving, lovable, and so loved. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Breathe that in and open your eyes. Pretty awesome, huh?
It is.
Pretty powerful. I hope you feel empowered right now, and I hope that you know that you were just shifted in a really positive way, just taking in those words. That's the power of a guided meditation. So if that resonates with you, I want you to reach out to me at info@dianeforster.com to find out how to get more of those. Okay? All right. So one of the things that I want to do is also tell you about an amazing free gift that I have you. Who likes free gifts? Woohoo! I love free gifts. My focus and work is on passion and purpose, as you know, and people trying to figure out what that is. So I have created a 10-day passion and purpose program, and I'm offering it free for a very limited time if you pre-register. Because once it goes live, we're going to start charging for it. But early bird people get to register for free. And it's a 10-day course, and it is really awesome. If you are stuck, if you don't know what your passion is or what your purpose is, or you want to shift things and you don't know how and you feel unclear and you want that clarity and that focus in the direction, this is the thing for you. And it is a 10-day program. It is 10 days. You get a 10-minute video of me, a 10-minute journal exercise, and that's it. In 10 short days, imagine what that's going to feel like on the other side of that, having that focus, that clarity in the direction. So it is my commitment and my gift to you. I've poured my heart and soul into this because I listen to you and I know what your challenges are. So my question for you is, are you committed and are you willing to put something aside for 10 days to give yourself the time to do this? Because successful people don't have the time, they make the time to do it. So if you would like to do that, you can go to ihavetoday.com/free. I'm going to repeat that. ihavetoday.com/free and register for the 10-day Passion and Purpose program. I'm so excited about it and so excited to see you in there. All right, Mac. Well, any takeaways? What's your biggest takeaway for today?
I think that, well, first of all, I want to thank you because I mean, I know your background, okay, and you kind of talked it down, okay. You're a top-notch exec, making good money for a lot of years, making magic happen, okay, and you've turned that around and you've turned it into servitude, okay. You really, I just love that. I love that feeling of being able to give back. A lot of people feel like they want to give back because, for whatever their personal reasons are. Some are good, some are not as healthy as they should be. But it really says something to your character to want to share what it is that you've experienced with other people. Okay, because I mean, it got pretty dicey there for a while. So that's, I think that's important. So I want to thank you for that. And you don't, in my opinion, you don't tell people that enough, and you just put it out there, and it's great. But I mean, our audience is listening. It's truly a gift when you meet somebody that is doing something because they care. And that resonates with me because, I'm a lot the same. I don't want to talk about me, but so I love to do. I love to help, and
that's why we're such pals.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we've kind of been down the same road together. But I think getting back to the takeaway is just what you said. I have today, okay, and I cannot stress enough that time goes forward. It does not go back, and there really is no urgency. Okay, a lot of people go, do it now. You got to do it now. No, you don't have to do it now. Okay. There's an old saying that when the teacher's ready, when the student's ready, the teacher will come.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so when the time is right, you'll transition into that.
You will.
Now, if you're a procrastinator and you sit on your thumbs, okay, well, you might need a little kick.
Right.
Okay. But it's one of those things, when the time is right, it'll happen. Just understand, don't live in the past. All we have is now. Okay. Because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen 5 minutes from now.
Right.
And so just, enjoy what we have now. And there really, truly is, in your meditation, there is beauty in every single thing that we have. And there can be beauty found in everything.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And there's a lot of content out there that is awesome and positive, and there's a lot of stuff that's toxic.
Right.
And unfortunately, sometimes we go
focus
that.
on the good. Focus on the good. It's all what we focus on.
Yeah.
It's our perception. Everybody's perception is their own. Your world is your world. My world is my world. We may live in this big world, but it really only matters what we think and our perception.
We live in our own bodies. Exactly.
Yes.
We are this is like a movie for us, and what you're seeing and feeling is something different than I'm seeing and feeling. And we just want to make sure that everybody is, happy.
Yes.
So
happiness is the goal, and
Absolutely.
It starts inside. It's the inside job. Well, this has been an awesome show. I love having you on. I'll definitely have you back. Isn't Mac amazing? Yay, we're so happy. We're so happy. So don't forget, ihavetoday.com/free to register for the 10-day Passion and Purpose program. And again, it's for a limited time, so don't delay. Get in there while it's still free. And I just want to say it's always a pleasure. I love you madly. I'm so passionate and committed to the work that I do, and I get to do it. That's the beautiful thing. I get to do this. And we'll see you next time on I Have Today with Diane Forster. Peace out. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.